The Tim and Tony podcast is brought to you by. So Bucked Up. Tell the good people about them, Tim.
Okay, so here's the deal. A lot of my friends who have been asking me about Bucked Up since we got the sponsorship told me, Tim, when I get a pre-workout, it feels like I'm a meth head on Mountain Dew. And I will assert, as I've tried many other brands, that is the case generally. Not the case with Bucked Up.
No.
And particularly not the case with this little product that I just started using. It's called Heat Hardcore. I started using it because I started a cut yesterday.
Oh,
trying to get in shape for going to Mexico in August. So we're very excited.
Oh, okay.
So for all of you who are looking to get into your Mexico body shape, Heat is a good pre-workout substitute. It's only got like 150 milligrams of caffeine. It helps you burn off fat really nice. Or just going for the traditional pre-workout where they have a bunch of delicious flavors. I have a huge ass stack next to me.
The chai spice is incredible.
Yep. Oh, and there's another product of theirs that I didn't try until I was sent it. Is those racked BCAs are,
oh my God,
life-changing. Those are awesome.
So the racked BCAs are fantastic. I've taken some other BCAs and like I know I took them, but I didn't feel them. This one, I feel like I could cure cancer. Disclaimer, you can't, but you feel like you could. The Pumpocalypse, oh boy. And if you use that in conjunction with the pre, you're gonna have a fun workout. So that's to say, there are plenty of options at Bucked Up Fruities, and we're not even talking yet about the protein and the meal replacement protein. Both of those are very, very delicious and lean. So, Tim, why don't you tell us about that promo code?
Promo code. Again, go to buckedup.com. You can only use this online. You cannot use this at any in-store location. Go online to buckedup.com. The promo code is TNT20. That's spelled TANDT20 for 20% off your entire order. You can order one product. You can order 50 products. It's 20% off the whole damn thing. So go to buckedup.com today and let's start working towards those Mexico bodies.
Yeah. Use those supplements. It'll change your workout, change your life like it did us. So let's talk about Tidal, Tim. Why do we love Tidal so much?
I've got a Tidal sweatshirt on right now, and it is by far the most comfortable thing that I own in my entire closet. I absolutely love this hoodie that I have on, and they make the most comfortable gym attire that I've ever worn, frankly. Tried out a lot of brands. We're not going to name them on here, but you know who they are.
Absolutely.
And these guys make by far not only the most comfortable feeling clothing, they make the best looking clothing. They make you feel like a fucking badass in these things because they're perfectly tapered to make you feel very confident. And
I mean, if we can feel like badasses, that's pretty impressive. So y'all need to buy the stuff. I've got a hoodie. I've got a sleeveless hoodie that is just as douchey as it sounds, but fuck, is it comfortable? Their shirts are, like Tim said, perfectly tapered. The shorts are incredible. So, you got to buy the stuff. And here's the thing, though, Tim. Why don't you tell them about that promo code?
Okay, so Untitled.com. That is spelled TYDAL.com. Use the promo code TAND15. That is TAND15 for 15% off your next order.
Off the whole store. Like, you can get all their stuff. You can literally buy the entire stock of their website, and you can get 15% off of all of that. And I suggest you do that because every single item that you buy there is going to be incredible. So, Tim.
Yeah.
We have seen a new Marvel movie.
And that we actually want to review. Because this isn't the first Marvel movie we've seen since we've had a podcast or since we rebooted the podcast. It's just the first one we actually wanted to talk about.
Right. Yeah, Tim's of course referencing the I won't even say much maligned because it just wasn't even
It wasn't.
really the thing that's most talked about Black Widow is the lawsuit that's surrounding Black Widow.
I think that generated some more funds for it as well.
Yeah. Wasn't a great movie. It happened. I think I've said on this podcast before, Florence Pugh was great in it. She was absolutely a revelation. Very much looking forward to her in the Hawkeye show. ScarJo's great. she's really good in the role. It very much felt like a movie that they just kind of they promised her at one point, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, that's right, we just killed her."
They fit in this whole.
Let's make a movie.
Yeah,
it was well done. The intro was really cool. It was very, very well put together, very well paced. But the opening credits, they did a good job on. But other than that, the most notable thing about it's the lawsuit. So why don't you tell the good people about that as well?
So we're fascinated by this story. When this first came out and she sued Disney over basically interference with business interest,
right,
is what it is, even though it's being widely reported as a breach of contract. It's not a breach of contract. It's basically interfering with the contract being performed adequately. So it's an interference with business interest.
And isn't there a little bit of implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So that's why they're calling it a breach, but it's more technical than that. Yeah. Because when I first heard it was breach of contract, I'm like, no, it's not. But not in like the traditional law student sense that we know it as, which is you violate it.
Yeah, so because that would be more just like they didn't release the fucking movie and 80% of her contract was dependent on revenue or something like that.
Yeah. It'd be like they didn't pay her at all.
Yeah.
So this lawsuit honestly didn't interest me at all. I was like, you know what? Scarlett got paid $30 million to do this movie. Disney's $1 billion corporation. What? Yeah. I was like at the
30
at the end of the day,
3-0.
Yeah, I'll double check it. I'll have my team get on it right now. But
yeah, no, I'll get research on it. Make your point.
But it just didn't interest me. It's like rich person versus $1 billion corporation fighting over lots of money. Never really gets me up in the morning.
Yeah.
But what's become interesting about it is how much it's affected everybody else who works at Marvel, including the higher ups, most notably Kevin Feige, who is apparently, these reports do not, these are the kinds of reports that don't come out unless somebody in their circle wants them to come out.
Yeah.
So the reports are that he is very unhappy with how they treated Scarlett Johansson and several other stars.
You do this every time you say her name. It's just Johansson.
Yeah, whatever. He's very upset, and some other stars at Marvel are upset with the treatment of her.
Yeah.
It's treatment.
Research got back to me. Disney also said that it has, quote, fully complied with Johansson's contract and said she's able to earn even more compensation with Black Widow airing on Disney Plus, not less. It also publicly disclosed the actress's salary, $20 million, which is still
$20 million.
Way more.
A lot of money.
That
is a lot of money. That's more than they were paying Chris Evans to do Captain America movies by 20x. Because Chris Evans was getting like $1 million a movie. They paid her a lot of money. So that's why this just didn't interest me. I'm sorry.
Just by the way, that's in my quick Google search. That's Tom Brady's salary this year.
Yeah. Like it's hard to really go, man, I feel so bad for it.
To almost get killed on a football field at the age of 44.
Exactly. So what's become interesting about this lawsuit is that it seems to be driving a wedge between the higher ups at Marvel and the higher ups at Disney, which is something that we've seen before with Pixar and Disney. It's something we've seen before with George Lucas and Disney.
George Lucas and everybody, basically.
And everybody else in his life. So what we're interested in, because Kevin Feige, I think, could name his price to go anywhere else and do anything. Like if Amazon's like, hey, the first season of Lord of the Rings sucks ass. We want you to come in. What's the number? To do 8 spin-off shows and our main show and blah, blah, blah. Game of Thrones brings them in to do the spin-offs, whatever it is.
Which, by the way, if Kevin, if you're listening, if you're going to leave, save Game of Thrones or save Star Wars. One of those two things. We need you. We need your services. And Star Wars movies. Dave Filoni's got everything else covered. Him and Favreau, they've just got everything locked down. But if we can get Kevin Star Wars, you're already in the building, so that probably wouldn't be where he'd go. So like, Game of Thrones, if you're gonna leave, that's where I want you.
I think it's important to note too that he's been there since 2006. This is a 15-year relationship. Yep. Most marriages end in divorce before then.
How many hats do you think he's worn on stage over that 15-year span?
I think he's just got a bunch of black ones, bunch of black hats that are like kind of like the plain. Who is that guy that wore like an NFL hat to the Super Bowl?
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe. They shop at like the same store and they just get these generic looking ass hats.
Do you see he showed up to? It might have been I think it was a Dodgers game in a MLB branded hat, and he was like, "Go Sports, let's do it."
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Like, anyway.
Yeah.
The Kevin Feige thing, though, is interesting. Obviously, Disney's got more money than God. They're going to find a way to make this work because it's in their best interest to make it work. Disney doesn't lose any deal that they really want. They're at that stage where if they want something, they can have it. So if they want Kevin Feige, they're going to have it.
Except for good Monday Night Football games. They can't get that. They can't get that whatsoever. And they also can't get good announcers for it.
And that I think is more of a reflection of who's running ESPN more than the finances behind Disney. Because they can get I think they're actually getting exactly who they want. I just don't think they're very smart about it.
Frankly, when it's on 3rd and 3, the most important thing to do, Tim, is to get 3 yards. I don't know if you know this.
Well, yeah. I mean, famously, like the Romo thing came down to like $2 million. And it's like, you're Disney. What do you care?
Yeah.
Just do it.
It's really
so it
bad.
It came down to the ESPN execs basically saying, we don't want to pay Tony more than Stephen A., who's making more than anybody else there.
Yeah.
We don't want him to become our highest paid person that decreases morale, we think. And it was a bad job by them.
Instead, we're just going to let Stephen A. hire and fire people at will.
Instead, we're going to put on a bad production. That's what we're going to do to keep morale high.
Which, okay. My name's on the damn podcast. I've been meaning to talk about this real quick, and then we'll get into the movie. Give me like a 2-minute. Okay. I'm going to allow myself 2 minutes to rant on this. So, NBA Finals, you and I had way more things to focus on than studio shows. But throughout that whole time, the studio halftime show that they were giving us, it wasn't a show. It was a commercial for ESPN. It was a commercial for 3 of the talking heads that they have at ESPN. And it was a revolving door, and it was terrible. They would do like these 30-second little hits, and then they'd just be out. And 90% of halftime was just damn commercials. Once upon a time, NBA Countdown actually meant something and was actually something cool to watch, something cool to listen to, and made you think about stuff. And it was a pretty solid production. It wasn't what they've got over at TNT. It was never that, but they had some legit people there. They had some good people there, and they were doing their best. Now
it's competitive.
Now it's dog shit. They're not even trying. It's sad. You and I have always agreed on this. You either full ass it or ass it, but you don't half ass it. Like, either just don't do it. Just play literally 30 minutes of commercials. Have Mike Breen.
I would be good with that.
Have Mike Breen cut in and have Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy do like, you know, their 20-40, their 2 20-second little snippets of something, go back to commercial, come back in for the game. But what they're doing right now is just absolutely fucking terrible. So anyways, time. Time.
Yeah.
I think I got it in under the buzzer. Anyways, ScarJo, we're rooting for you. We really are. At least I am. I am.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I'm pro individual as opposed to pro large corporation. I don't know. Maybe you're not. I don't know. I thought I knew.
Pro ScarJo.
You're not pro ScarJo. Why
as
not?
an actress, as a person, as an
or
actress.
as you would say, ScarYo.
Yeah, ScarYo. Just not very pro her. I think she's made some questionable decisions.
Interesting. Like what?
We'll save that one for another podcast.
Gotta leave them wanting something. So anyways, yeah, the lawsuit should be interesting to watch. We'll see where it goes. Basically, this might be not for nothing. This is the first time really since Iron Man that we've actually had division in in-house.
I wanted to say that I was going to say that she's definitely taken some roles that were appropriating other cultures, including playing an Asian woman and a trans man in different movies. And she's made comments that basically I should be able to play any race that I want, type of thing. So that's what I was getting at. I just wanted to get research on that really quick to make sure that I didn't actually just completely slander her without knowing the exact facts. Those are the facts. That's why I'm not very pro ScarJo. But anyway,
when did that happen? What movie?
It was Ghost in the Shell. She was playing an Asian woman, and it was Rub and Tug that she was playing a trans man.
Whoa! What? Okay, well then maybe I need to do research on it and see look more into her career. Wow. Okay. Well, you learned something new every day.
Again, I wanted to be right before I said it. That's why I was holding.
Sure. Because we're live. We can't edit this, so got to make sure if you say it once, you say it with your chest. But yeah, this is the first time that we've had division in Marvel. So, I mean, they're still churning out great content. All the shows have been wonderful. What If has been a revelation. The Chadwick Boseman episode that they had was absolutely heartfelt and very, very, very well done. Made me cry multiple times. It was awesome. I mean, all the 3 live action shows they've come out with have all been very entertaining. And Black Widow was fine, but every once in a while you're gonna have a fine movie. You're not gonna have a good or great movie. But that's to say, Shang Chi, which we're about to start talking about, was, in my opinion, a great movie. But before we get to that, Elvis Monroe, please play us in.
In a crowded room, somewhere in town.
So Tim, now that you're done taking a nice swig of that White Claw, tell us why we're talking about Shang-Chi.
So I think you and I are bigger fans of Marvel movies than the traditional quote unquote movie critics are. We've enjoyed, mostly because we're younger than most of those people and we grew up watching these movies.
Right.
And as you've said, they really haven't missed on an origin story. In my opinion, there hasn't been an origin story that they completely missed on.
Right.
You can argue the Hulk is a bad movie. It's not an origin story. It's a continuation of.
Is it not?
It's like this. No, it's like the Spider-Man movie where it's like they're glassing over his origin story and kind of putting you right in the middle of him being Hulk. So I don't consider that an origin story per se.
Did they not do the? I haven't seen that movie in quite
No,
some
when you
time.
see it-
Did they
when you
not do
see-
him getting exposed to radiation? Or that was
No.
Abomination that they started with.
When you see Ed
Okay.
Norton, he's like, I've gone 2 years without an episode.
That's right. That's
basically.
right.
So you're like in the middle of his
No, you're right.
arc as opposed to the beginning. So they've always done origin stories very, very well. Shang Chi, when I heard that it was coming out, I had a couple reactions. I mean, the first one was another famous podcaster, Jason Concepcion, once said in a podcast that I listened to after Black Panther came out, when asked if he thought that Marvel would ever do an Asian superhero movie in his lifetime, he said absolutely not.
Ooh.
At the time. And that
Really?
was 3 years ago for Black Panther.
Sure.
And in that podcast, I went back and listened to it in advance of this one. He lays out the reasons basically why it'll never happen in his lifetime. And it's kind of funny to listen to, but he also talks about there are a couple Asian superheroes in the Marvel universe. Shang-Chi first aired in 1974.
Okay.
So like most of their IP, this is very, very old, other than Guardians, obviously, which is more recent.
Sure.
So this is very old IP they've been sitting on. You can criticize their motives for doing movies like this, but
Which,
I think
by the way, they're a huge ass company. We know why they made it.
we know why they make every movie they make, though.
Yeah.
It comes down to like they're doing movies with better representation in them, and that's a good thing. Whether it doesn't mean you have to pat them on the back for it.
We're always operating on the assumption that they're pieces of shit. Like,
Yeah,
fine.
and I get that. So the fact that this movie actually does come out 3 years later after he makes that comment, someone who's
Right.
very, very plugged into this universe and world, is objectively cool, and it was interesting to go and see that movie.
And it's good evidence that, I would imagine that if it was in the works at that point, Jason would have known that. So
Yeah,
I
it
would have
wasn't.
so that means that this movie was very much a reaction of, oh, wait a minute, non-white people go to the movies? Whoa, what?
There's
Oh my
other
God.
people- yeah.
Oh my
Exact.
God.
And
This
that's
is
the part
incredible.
we have to admit, like that's
Yeah.
definitely what happened. Okay.
Oh, it's that.
Unfortunately.
Of course it is.
Like it's
The biggest Hollywood trope was black people don't watch movies or don't go to the movies, which is obviously fucking stupid. But that's what the old guard always thought was the case. And I'm very much guessing that then also extended out to other just non-white cultures.
well, I mean,
We suck.
This is also interesting. I mean, I believe in one interview, Kevin Feige talked about the success of Parasite as showing that like American audiences are open to something new type of thing. And it's like,
and then
yeah.
and then the quote that Bong Joon-ho came out with, where he said, like, yeah, if people can just, or no, he said it during his acceptance speech at the Oscars. If you
it was either, I know the quote you're about to say, it was just after during the interview.
Yeah, he's just like, if people can get over the 6 inches of subtitles, or I'm obviously paraphrasing, if they can get over that, they're going to open themselves up to a lot of cool new content. And this movie has some subtitles. It
starts with subtitles.
Yeah. You know what didn't take away from this movie? Subtitles. I watch, like, Game of Thrones. I watch all of that shit with subtitles. Like, it's just, if that's going to be what keeps you from enjoying great content, you need to look at yourself.
Well, and famously after Parasite comes out, Trump is like, I didn't see it. I don't watch subtitles, or whatever the fuck he said.
Again, we don't need to say his name. That's like Voldemort.
But the point of it is like, I've talked to a lot of people who were initially very reluctant to see that movie based on the subtitles thing. And when they watched it, they were just like blown away by it. So here's the thing. We know why he didn't want to watch it. He doesn't read anything. We don't know that he can read, actually. Him and Floyd Mayweather are buddy on that little island of being unable to read.
Both very wealthy. Well, we know Floyd's wealthy. We actually don't know if Trump's wealthy.
Yeah, both can't read. What do you? Because I paid
more in taxes needed. I'm just saying. And I've been unemployed since October.
Yeah.
So
But with this movie, obviously there was a little bit of holy shit, other people go see movies, we should make movies for them. But what we're seeing with the money that's coming in for this movie already, I believe 72 million, and it's opening.
So it's now 90. It ended the weekend at 90. It's the highest grossing Labor Day weekend movie ever.
Is that including Monday though?
Yes.
Okay. So the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I believe was lower than the 80 million that Black Widow did by a little bit. Sure. Which they're projecting this movie is going to make $500 million. They made it for 150.
Yeah.
It's a big win for them.
Yeah.
And they're going to make.
And as of apparently today, if you believe the Wikipedia numbers, they've already made more than what the movie's budget was.
Yeah. And that's what's funny is that those stories even need to be made because it's a Marvel movie. Of course, it's going to make money, like a lot of money.
Yeah. What was interesting though, we mentioned Kevin Feige at the top. What he said about this movie was very interesting. And it was, some argued it was taken out of context, but still, if you're gonna run currently the most successful movie franchise in the world, you might want to choose your words carefully when you're talking about a new foray into a new culture's movies. He called this movie experimental, and a lot of people did not like that. His response was he meant in no way that like going into this new culture was going to be experimental and we'll see what happens. Apparently he said that the way that they were releasing it was going to be experimental, though it's only in theaters.
Well, including Simu Liu. We know what Kevin meant.
Yeah.
Because he didn't clarify it when he said it.
No.
And he's smart enough to know how that would be taken when he said it.
And then the star of the movie comes out and says, we are not experimental, and was not a fan. And was just it's another thing of, this might be something that is trending in the wrong direction for Marvel. Again, the movie still ended up being successful. By all accounts, the next few movies that they're going to be making are all going to be successful.
The Spider-Man movie is going to make $1 billion, by the way. It's going to make over $1 billion.
Probably.
Go book it right now.
And if it doesn't, it'll just be because there's certain people that still just don't want to go to the movies. And I'm not actually like, this is the one time where I'm using that phrase where I'm not actually hinting at a particular group. I'm just saying there might be people that just don't want to go to a theater and they'll wait until it comes on streaming because, we're still in a global pandemic because people won't get vaccinated.
And, it should be noted with those streaming numbers, what's so fucking stupid about the ScarJo thing that I didn't mention earlier is that
how do you really feel?
They know what they've made on streaming. They could have just cut the check and presumably settled this before it became a public fucking mess. So
my hands are up in the air for our audio only listeners.
It's not like it's a mystery to us what it made on Disney Plus streaming, but not to them. Like they could have gone, you know what, this was your percentage of tickets, this is your percentage of streams. Boom. It's over. Like now it's become this super hard thing where we're like, well, we don't know if we're going to put Spider-Man out this way because blah, blah, blah. It's like just give the fucking percentage of the streams that you were giving of the tickets so that we can all watch this at home. That'd be great. Thanks, Disney. Like it's really, really simple.
Yeah, it's on a positive note. On a positive note, it was really cool to be back into a theater. I very much enjoyed it, and I know I'm a movie nerd, obviously, since this is the podcast. But it was really cool. I'm fully vaccinated, and I got tested right before I went. Not specifically for this, but I happened to get a test for it, or a test before it. So and weren't really sitting all that close to people. It's like there are better ways to do this. I don't know, man. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. Had a beer. It was enjoyable.
So we don't talk about movies together anymore off air.
Yeah.
So as to save some of these surprises. So I have to talk to other people when I come out of movies.
Right.
And I was talking to my girlfriend at the time when I came out of the movie.
Girlfriend at the time.
Well, no, I shouldn't say that. You're right. Girlfriend. I was talking to her and
I don't know.
I'm
hearing conflicting reports then.
conflicting reports.
My sources are saying.
My sources are saying, like Kanye and Kim type shit.
Again, my hands are up in the air for
there's only a few movies that are really worth seeing in the theaters anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Marvel's still one of them.
As much as I love Fast and Furious, and I will go to the grave defending the family, still haven't seen Fast 9. I will see it when it comes out on streaming. I know it's not going to be a cinematic masterpiece. I know it's not. It's going to be a hell of a time for me to be with the family again. I don't need to spend the $20 that it's going to cost me to go see it. I have HBO Max.
And I'll just admit, I had like more than a few doubts about it, because what makes Marvel quote unquote special is these supernatural elements of their movies.
Right.
And when I was like, oh, this is going to be like a martial arts combat movie, I was like, yeah, is that going to quite hit the same? Because Marvel's always, and then when I saw it, I mean, again, I avoided most of the trailers. I'm sure
Didn't watch
some
them.
of this, some of him like actually manipulating the rings was in the trailers. I'm sure of it, because that's what they do. But I didn't know that. I just knew it was a martial arts based film. And I was like, is that going to work in Marvel for this audience? And of course it did, because the secret sauce that nobody's been able to replicate perfectly is this perfect blend of humor, self-aware humor, making fun of itself at times, bringing in other characters that we have familiarities with, and bringing in the best actors in the world to do this. Like, there's nobody in this movie who's a dud. You're just not seeing it anymore. Like, every actor that's in it is really fucking good.
Yeah.
Because they can afford to do that. Like,
yeah. So to get into the movie, we start out, and who we find out later is Shang Chi's dad. He's going around, he's trying to get into Ta Lo, which is a mystical place that's guarded, and there's a whole culture behind it and all this stuff, and there's mystical beings. It's a very powerful place. He's trying to get in there. He's got these 10 rings. I knew nothing about this stuff before. So when we get
other than the Iron Man portrayal, because
the Mandarin, but
in the first movie they're the 10 rings.
Yes,
that terrorist group in the first movie is the 10 rings.
Yes, anyway. Sure. But I didn't really know anything about the physical rings.
No,
and I still really don't.
because they weren't in any of the movies, because they purposefully made it. They made it a caricature of Middle East terrorist groups.
Which, yeah, they really did.
It's what they did. Like, I don't know. Like, you can say what you want about. It's what happened.
Yeah. So the thing that I kept thinking about the whole movie is, so are the rings kind of like Mjolnir, where it goes to who's worthy? I
was curious about this too.
Does it go to who's just the most powerful? Like, it just goes to whoever takes them? Like,
so this is actually my biggest problem with this movie. Not to say that like I have big problems with it, just I wish that they would have done more on like how, where, and why he found them, because I get what they can do, right?
Yeah,
like,
I would imagine the how, where, what, when, why he found them. I'm sure that'll end up getting explained at another point.
It has to, because it's too, like, when Shang-Chi basically like takes control of them, I'm like,
And he takes
Okay,
half
so-
of them over, like at first.
and then all of them,
Yeah.
which I'm like, I know that he was doing stuff with his aunt once he got to, I apologize if I say it wrong,
Talo. Yeah.
Talo, when he's training with his aunt there. But it did seem like there was these belong to certain people, but they don't seem to have a worthiness aspect to them either, because he goes dark as fuck and he's using them for horrible purposes. So
you know what? That's a fair
kind of
point.
where
That's a fair point. Though there are some Lokis that are able to get Mjolnir. Like there's some Loki variants. I don't know.
a lot of questions.
Maybe we should have had Sean coming in on this one. Who knows? But and what's interesting is the rings, they're not like they're controlled individually, because in the fights they're throwing he was able to just throw one of them or just two of them or just three of them or the whole arm or all of them. Like they seem really OP.
And
they seem awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and they combine to do like an Iron Man basically stun flash.
They're fucking cool.
No, it was really cool. I wish that we would have almost gotten more of just his dad fucking stuff up.
Yeah.
With the rings.
Yeah.
But I'm sure in future movies there will be a lot more explored about the lore of those rings.
Yeah. So his dad gets to the gates. They don't let him in. But who we eventually find out Shang-Chi's mom, the second, and I mean the second that they started interacting, I turned to my buddy that I was watching the movie with, Nate, who's also going to be, if Sean's not available, he will end up being our co-senior correspondent for both Star Wars and Marvel, Nate. So shout out, Nate. Thanks for listening. I turn over to him. I'm like, oh, they're going to fuck.
Oh,
like they are absolutely 100% going to fuck. And then I believe
they kind of did. Like on
kind
screen.
of. Oh, on screen. Yes. In a mystical way. Yes, they did.
Yeah, so
to speak, as the kids say. So then we get the narration, and this is when my mom and dad, and I just look at them like, I told you, I got it. So that obviously they end up being Shang-Chi's parents. Then we get the backstory that shows us, what happened to his parents, more specifically what happens to his mom. We get a lot about his upbringing, where he was basically trained to be an assassin. And not even basically, he was trained to be an assassin. And then his first sort of assignment was to go kill the people that killed his mom. And the assignment was given to him by his dad. And that's pretty tough. And then he leaves. Shang-Chi leaves, and then he's able to, at I think they said 13, make his own life. Goes to San.
Hang on. Sorry, with the mom being killed thing and him avenging her.
Yeah.
So to me, it wasn't lost, at least, that this is probably going to be the last Spider-Man movie, unless Sony and Marvel can get their shit together, and it doesn't seem like they can.
They will.
You can say that, but as of right now, this is going to be the last one.
Stop.
And so initially,
why you got to hurt my feelings?
Initially, it looked like Tom Holland was going to sort of take over the reins from RDJ. Shang-Chi has a similar backstory to the last person who was running the Avengers. He's got problems with his dad, who's a very demanding, but also kind of trained him to be who he is.
Yeah.
And was very close to his mom, who was murdered.
Ding, 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 ding.
To me, I've never read the comics of Shang-Chi.
So obviously they were.
I don't know if that's actually in the comics or not, but the similarities there, because again, it's not an accident. This is their first origin story post Endgame. And like I said, with the Spider-Man troubles that they're having, it's interesting. It's interesting. There's little nuggets in there like that for people who watch all the movies. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I would imagine that at some point they were probably going to lean a lot on Chadwick Boseman post
100%
post Iron Man.
Because the Ryan Coogler film was supposed to come out, I think, either this year or next year, and it's been pushed to 2023.
Yeah,
and they were trying to crank those things out.
And by the way, guys, take as long as you need. I'm sure. I am absolutely certain Ryan Coogler is going to make a masterpiece.
100%.
But fuck,
I think they've had like different ways they've wanted to sort of go and who they want to lead this new. And again, Kevin Feige did refer to this as experimental. So I don't know if all of the similarities between Shang and Tony Stark are purposeful.
Yeah,
but they're certainly there.
They're there. And it should be interesting moving forward. Because he is a badass and pretty far and above one of the more badass characters that we currently have in the MCU. Like, you know it's not gonna be Hawkeye that's gonna be running shit.
This is my problem with. Okay, sorry, I said I had one problem. I have two problems.
you always have problems, Tim.
When Shang, like you were about to say, runs away at 14 and he starts his own life, basically exactly the time he's going to go to high school, which is perfect for a lot of reasons. Katie claims to have never seen him do anything even remotely athletic in her life. Yeah. There is no fucking way that a 15-year-old didn't once do a flip off the wall, didn't take off his shirt at the pool.
Here's the thing.
Something. That dude is like 15 benching 225 for 20. Okay?
Here's the thing. If you or I had those powers, the day is not
I'd walk around shirtless.
The day is not short enough that I wouldn't literally and figuratively flex those powers within the day.
That's my problem. Like he didn't play sports.
Hold on.
He didn't play basketball. Like,
doesn't need to. Shang Chi, and I mean this literally and seriously, he built different. He's a better person than we are.
Is he?
I'm telling you right now.
He seems a lot like us because he actually has this sort of happy-go-lucky, I just kind of want to do my own thing and work.
How is that in any way, shape, or form either of us? You just said the phrase happy-go-lucky.
I'm saying he worked as a parking lot attendant so as to avoid responsibility. This is something that you and I would have done if we didn't end up in law school. We would have taken stupid-ass jobs like that.
You're right. If we wouldn't have decided to take something that had a lot of responsibility, then we would have decided to not take responsibility. You're right. Good point, Tim.
I'm just saying, it doesn't really make sense. Like, what, you never were playing like pool basketball with your friends with your shirt off and you're just like, like over somebody. Like, I'm just telling you, those muscles don't grow themselves. He was lifting every goddamn day. There's no question.
The two friends that we know he has seem lame as fuck, though.
Katie does seem lame. I'm not gonna lie. I like Katie.
Katie's fine. I'm talking about the two friends that they kept having dinner together.
Well, the girl he was friends with, her boyfriend, I don't think they were friends with. But yeah, the lawyer. You mean the lawyer that they were friends with?
Yeah, seemed lame as fuck.
That's harsh. I don't know if I appreciate that or not.
But I don't know. It seemed like he lived a pretty insular life and intentionally. Because he didn't want to make waves.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, he seems like once he actually starts fighting, he seems so confident in himself that I'm like, there's no way this person was just shyly, like, never showing this off to anybody. I don't know. It's a hole for me. It's a hole.
I don't know.
It might not be for you. That's okay. I'm just pointing it out.
Not all holes are for everybody, right, Tim? So...
It's correct. It's just correct.
We might have to edit that. We'll see. So they're in San Francisco. We flash forward to him as an adult. He wakes up to go to his job as a valet.
I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. I think if you're that athletic, you're going to become a pro athlete. I don't know. Like, he's parking cars, though. Okay, I'm sorry. He's parking cars. He's a valet. It bugs me. It bugged the hell out of me. Like, this guy gets up in the morning and just starts cranking push-ups. And he's like a valet. Like,
well, and didn't they live together?
Who? Him and
Katie. Yeah.
No, I don't think they did, because Katie, I think, lived with her mom. Because she was having breakfast with him.
You're right. But still weird. But anyways, so we get valet. They're taking the bus home. Then we get a hell of an action sequence. I mean, a hell of one. Let me just say, I need whatever that Austrian dude's workout regimen and diet program is.
You mean the guy with one arm who had like the knife coming out of him?
Yeah. I need that shit. Because he looked great. He looked ready to fuck shit up. He looked ready to fuck shit up. And he held his own. He held his own against Shang Chi.
No, he did. He really did.
Which granted he had other people he had other people helping him, but still. He kicked some ass in this movie. I need to know. I need him to drop the workout. I need him to drop the routine. I'm just saying.
Well, we'll get him hooked up with some Bucked Up, and then
I was gonna say, if he's not already on Bucked Up, we need to get him on it, because I swear to God, if I saw him on that stuff, oh my God, he'd look like what Chris Hemsworth is now.
That's a whole separate podcast. Chris Hemsworth looks amazing.
Yeah,
that guy looks incredible. He's a fucking beast right now,
and he keeps just outdoing himself. But anyways, so Shang-Chi loses the pendant. Come to find out, those pendants are a key into something. I don't know. A map.
To
Thank
Talu.
you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, which that's a pretty cool story device of like the two kids. You have to get them together in order to figure out how to get into the beyond the wall.
Yeah,
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Bad job by the mom actually putting the map near that guy who she knew was not allowed through the gate. Just saying. I'd probably keep it a little more secret from that guy.
Yeah.
But, love is blind. So
love is blind. But before we get back, we see the map. We go to Shang-Chi's sister running Fight Club, which is
a awesome. Gambling fighting ring.
A gambling fight club. It was awesome.
Fucking awesome. That was actually, obviously the end sequence is great. That was my favorite scene. I thought that was so well put together. The way they have him go up this crickety elevator. For some reason, it's at the top of this huge building, because of course it is, because they're going to end up fighting and flying down this thing. But it's at the top of this old ass building, a rickety elevator, and you see like the booths of people placing bets and stuff. It's
great.
For you and I, it just felt like home.
And I'll just give you a hint. That's a very easy answer for who would I want to be. But anyways.
Well, okay, but also I was worried about this during the movie. I was worried about the odds. Okay, because like I'm just saying, how do you handicap like Shang-Chi fighting his sister? Like, who's really the favorite there? Because it looks like Katie made a shit ton of money, almost like the sister was like 2 or 3 to 1. Because Katie doesn't have a lot of money.
Probably because
that's what I'm interested about.
There's the person who's running the fight club, and then this just newcomer. So obviously, the unknown is probably going to hamper how much of a prohibitive favorite the sister probably was. But the sister was a favorite, and probably a pretty aggressive favorite.
And the nod to how much boxing is fixed with the wizard and whatever the fuck that huge ass thing was. I love that scene.
Oh, so you don't know who that was?
No, I don't know who that was.
Great.
It wasn't. I know Wong was in this movie, but
Yeah.
that wasn't Wong.
So it was great to see Wong, and it was great to see Abomination.
Oh, wait.
Abomination is back.
Oh, yeah, that was lost on me.
Yeah, it was
That was
when I
totally
saw it
lost on me.
until Nate said, "That's Abomination." And I'm an idiot. And I was like, "No, that's not Abomination." And then I Google it. It was Abomination.
Totally lost on me. I love the
Yeah.
scene when they're walking through the portal and they're like talking about how they basically need to make this better pro wrestling for the fans. It
Right.
was great. I loved it. I loved all of it. It was my element. That's where I'd be hanging out in this world.
Right. So, we get those. So that, and with the end sequence with Professor Hulk is no longer a thing now. So I'm guessing they might actually be giving Mark Ruffalo a standalone movie. I don't know.
He's famously said the reason they won't do it is because they hate money, which is love Mark Ruffalo as a guy. That's his best quote of all time.
Yeah.
Apparently they hate money. I don't know why.
In a movie where there's only 3 people during the movie that pop up that are from the greater MCU, obviously the mid credits and post credits aside, there's only 3 people, and that Marvel doesn't just do shit. They do everything intentionally. We get Wong. So obviously there's going to be
Wong's
some Doctor.
karaoke,
He was,
which is
just perfect. Obviously, that means that there's going to be some interaction between Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange. But to see
are you going to talk about Wong?
I'm going to, but
Okay,
I wanted to make
go with Abomination. Sorry, go with Abomination first.
I wanted to make the point. They included Abomination because, I mean, come on, they're gonna make a Hulk movie. They're gonna do it.
She-Hulk is coming out.
No, I know, but I'm saying like it's either going to be She-Hulk or it's going to be a standalone Hulk movie.
They have to do the standalone because famously, for those that don't know, Hulk is owned by Universal, not by Marvel.
Still,
so that's why the Hulk ride is at Universal Studios in California, not at Disneyland.
Which I wouldn't know anything about. So yeah,
Disney does not own the rights to Hulk.
Hey, by the way, Disney. We, the Tim and Tony Pod, half of us haven't ever been to Disneyland. If you
I mean, we'll do an advertisement for you. Just fucking hook it up.
We do full ass podcasts about movies that you make. Come on, man. Just
what's going on here?
Yeah,
that's all we're saying.
Just hit up Tim and Tony at Gmail. Tim and Tony podcast at Gmail. Come on, hit it up. We're available.
We're here.
And I'm an hour and a half, 2 hour drive away. Come on, and you're a rock's throw away right now. So yeah,
I can basically see it out my window right now.
Yeah, let's get it going. Like, have your people call our people will call your people. Let's get it. Anyways, so yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm kind of sad. I love Professor Hulk, so it's kind of sad for me to see.
There's something there though. There's a story there.
Yeah,
so
and again, they don't do anything. They do everything intentionally.
Nothing's an accident.
Yeah, nothing's an accident. Then we get, there's a little sequence of them getting past the gate, or, they get through the maze. I don't know what the specific term is.
You're going to skip through the awkward dinner? With
Go
Katie?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I just like Katie, Shang-Chi, and his dad all sitting there for dinner acting like nothing's wrong. And then all of a sudden he's like, I'm hearing voices. And your mom's I'm like, this is all bad. Like, as soon as he started out with, I'm hearing your mom talk to me, I'm like, oh, this is fucked. It just got actually worse and worse and worse. So before we even got to the sequence of them explaining why there's this whole thing that he needs to break open so this awful force can get out, I was like, no, there's something fucked up here. This guy's lost it.
This guy's strung out on something.
Shang-Chi's got daddy issues, though. That is for sure. That guy is one of the worst fathers we've seen in the MCU. I mean, Howard Stark was a real piece of shit, but
yeah.
I mean, just as fathers go, he's up there. Like if this was Game of Thrones, we'd have a different conversation on our hands. But for Marvel, that's a pretty bad father there.
I mean, who's in competition for worst father?
Well, I was just trying to do like Scarlett Johansson's dad in Black Widow is pretty bad.
Yeah, but he's like a bumbling idiot bad.
Yeah. But he's
the charts where it's like chaotic evil, chaotic good, all that stuff. He's like neutrally stupid.
I like Odin. I'm on Odin's side with some of the stuff he did. I kind of like Odin. I kind of get why he did the things he did.
You're a big Thor 2 guy.
I like Thor. I like Thor too. Yeah. I weirdly did like that movie.
Dark World fan. Okay.
I kind of am.
Dark World and Last Jedi. You, that's just right down your wheelhouse.
Yeah, no, those movies were made for me. But yes, then they steal, what was it, a BMW that they were advertising in this movie?
Of course.
With the action shots of the grill all throughout the jungle.
Which, by the way, just a hideous car. I like
BMWs.
I know you do.
I like it.
The one that they had in this movie was hideous. And however much they're charging for it, it's gonna be too much.
I love BMWs. I hope to own one someday. Love the car. Running into Trevor again was wonderful.
And by the way, this brings us into our sponsored segment from BMW, Drive Better.
Yeah, Drive Better.
You were saying?
Send us a car, goddammit.
Yeah. Come on. Somebody send us something.
Sponsors. We appreciate all sponsors, but god damn it, like the clothes, the protein powder, like where's the fucking car?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you sponsor us, we are shamelessly. Look at this. I've got the meal replacement, the creatine right here. I've got the shirt, I've got the hat. I am there is a price for everything. Call me. Let's go. Let's get this going. You were saying, back to the movie.
So they steal the car. They break Trevor out, who is literally he's only there to correct Disney's fuck up.
Yep.
With the 10 Rings organization. That's the only reason they included him. Because other than that, he is just purely comedic relief for the rest of the movie.
And
they explain, they had me impersonating your dad. I was from the Middle East, though. And like they go through this whole, it's kind of like a makeup. They're kind of like, we fucked this up, but this is the real organization. It was a bad explanation, by the way.
We're getting the Jim stare into the camera like, we know that you know that we know that you know that this is going on.
You didn't purposefully do that. Like we said, everything they do is purposeful. That was not purposeful. They fucked that up, and they then went backwards and were like, actually, the real 10 Rings is this guy from this other story.
It's like, yeah, we were kidding. You knew that, right? Yeah, you knew that. Nah, we'll just move on. You knew it.
We'll just pretend like that was cool.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Really bad security at the compound.
There isn't security.
Really bad security. It's like the Capitol in a lot of ways.
Wow.
People just
they
come in, they march out.
Jesus.
They do.
God.
They do whatever the fuck they want in this compound, apparently. Because all it took to get out was
hold on. I think the FBI is at my door. Hold on one second.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah. Hold on. You're in a hotel, so you might be good, but they know I'm here.
Yeah.
Come on. Wow. So then we get into the village. We meet the ant, which, by the way, ants have a big role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is like the fifth ant that we've met.
Yeah, I mean, and they're all very attractive, to be honest. I mean, Aunt May, Marissa Tomei is obviously has my heart, but
you're into Shang Chi's ant. Yeah.
Here, I will say though, while we're talking about relatives, the scene that has gotten the most play from this movie is the scene with Katie and her grandmother.
Yeah.
And Katie and her mom at the dinner table.
Yep.
Marvel is just, it's not only a goofy action buddy cop type movie. those scenes at the dinner table
Yeah.
are both hilarious and poignant.
Sure.
And that's when they're at their best, is those scenes. So we can move on now to talking about the ant.
Oh no, the floor's yours. Sounds like you've got
So-
a lot of thoughts.
Here's the thing.
I'm more of an Aunt May fan, of an Aunt May fan myself.
Me too.
So
Me too.
you know,
That's my gal there, is Aunt May. Me and RDJ, he's probably gonna win, but that's okay.
I mean, he's dead
that is true, and married. So you know,
and happily
right
now they've
Wow.
been through some rough batches, but you know,
Yeah.
when
Who
one of them is always at one time running one of the most powerful companies in the world,
Stuff.
you know, yeah. Who am I to say that that's not going to be tough to get through?
I thought it was. Here's what I don't understand about this place, and I need help with this. Shang Chi clearly gets like extra powers from hanging out with his aunt and learning stuff.
Yeah.
Does he lose those when he leaves, like
No.
his mom did? See, I don't get that. That's where they lose me. I don't understand this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it. Like,
Do you fully understand the differences between Mjolnir and Stormbreaker?
no.
Do you fully understand the
One's more badass than the other.
do you fully understand the whole Black Panther situation? Do you fully understand most of this stuff?
I'm just saying, like,
Are you scared of something new, Tim? Is that what you're saying?
The aunt couldn't have sent a postcard or something. I don't know.
She couldn't have
Like,
sent a raven. Yeah.
a raven, something like fucking anything.
Which, by the way, you don't know how ravens work either. Just saying.
So, again, that's another problem I have with Harry Potter. This advanced society uses owls for communication, but that's another podcast.
Yeah.
So he gets the costume finally,
Armor.
Looks like-
yeah. Yeah.
but no, but it's the like superhero
yeah.
outfit is what.
Sure. I got you.
They get ready to fight his dad, who's coming like a bat out of hell to fuck everything
And there's
up.
even some bats that come out of hell during the set
And-
piece.
It needs to be said, Dad, not only a bad dad, kind of an idiot.
Kind of
an idiot. Kind of
He's
an idiot.
hearing voices in his head from his dead wife. He's this powerful warlord who
And as shit is coming out of
He's
the
just-
fucking mountain, he's
he's
like,
still just pop. He's still just going at
Stupid.
it. He's still
Stupid.
just he's a blunt force object that doesn't have any thought behind it.
Stupid.
Like it's just a very okay. I know that was the seat that
What was the
just made that noise, but again, our audio only people, they don't know that. So I'm just saying Tim's not dying. He's not fighting for his life right now. That was the seat. So yeah, we get the set piece. We get what looks like Gyarados coming out, and I was so happy.
You were pumped?
I was hyped. I was like, all right, let's get some Hydro Pump in here. Let's get some, Dragon Rage. Let's just, and we got most of it.
Underrated character Gyarados. I always like red. Gyarados.
Underrated.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I feel like most of my relatives growing up who had Pokemon weren't a big fan, but red Gyarados was my shit in gold version. Love red Gyarados.
Oh, yeah. See, he was always in my lineup whenever I picked Charmander, because then you gotta have that strong water type.
You got to balance it out.
But I was always a Squirtle guy, so
Well, you like easy.
No, I like things that remind me of like my childhood dog. He was cute and he was loyal. That was the thing with Charmander that always rubbed me the wrong way. It wasn't loyal. So
Sure.
I'm just saying.
Huh.
And I mean,
Very good
and Blastoise has fucking cannons. And then Charizard's basically the Anakin Skywalker of the Pokemon world, in that he's a dragon, but he's not a dragon type.
It's become clear
Not
who the winner is.
gonna give him the master.
It's
ranking.
clear who the winner is. Look at the prices for 1998 Charizards and come back to me.
Wow. Wow.
You know who the winner is.
Yeah.
We know
but,
who won that battle.
Yeah, but in
You know.
any actual battle, you know who's going to win. I'm just saying.
Well, in terms of money, just saying.
In terms of actual fighting, though.
People like Charizard.
I don't even need to bring out Hydro Pump. I could do like Water Pulse or like Bubble, and Charmander's just gonna fucking drown, or Charizard's just gonna drown. Anyways, they didn't come here to hear our Pokemon arguments. Different podcast, which we will have at some point. Add that to the list of promised podcasts that hasn't come out yet. So
that never will.
That might. Brian might be. We might get Brian.
We do have a friend named Brian. We're just saying.
We do. And you know the music that you hear, Elvis Monroe. He's the lead singer. So you know, lived with him for 3 months. Great guy. Love to have him on. He's like family, or he is family. He's not like family. He is family. Love that guy.
Love Brian.
Anyways, we get the fight. We get the set piece. Very well done. Great CGI. It was well paced. All the Katie stuff with her running around with the crossbow was super funny. And then she actually makes some good shots. It was well done.
So I have a question for you about the whole set piece and the ending.
Sure.
I'm wondering if one of the problems with Black Widow is that post Endgame, we need the stakes to be just a little bit higher. And in this movie, you get the guy who has lived for what, 2,000 years, I think it was, who's like now might die. So I think the stakes were considerably higher, and I think may have propelled this movie a little bit at the end.
Honestly, for me at least, that's wow. Again, you know we're an audio medium, Tim.
I apologize to our listeners.
Thank
it's
you.
Very disrespectful.
And I would also like an apology.
I apologize to Tony.
Thank you
for being such a bitch.
Anyways, I honestly don't think that the scale of these fights is really what hindered Black Widow. I just don't think there was a lot there, and I just don't think that there's really all that interesting of a story to get to. You ready, Tim?
Had to grab another cloth. Thanks, though.
Yeah, no free ads. You grabbed a seltzer.
Yes.
The thing about us watching movies in a post-Endgame world, I actually want the opposite. I would like for them to dial it back. I would like for them to do the more neighborhood Spider-Man shit. Because just like, look, we just had this interdimensional, inter-timeline war. It was really cool to then watch, Falcon and Winter Soldier. It was really cool to watch WandaVision. It was really cool to watch these things where it's contained, because then it's like, okay, like once you have a 30-ounce porterhouse, you're not going to then go and eat a freaking 16-ounce Wagyu filet. Like that's not what you're going to go do. You're going to have, a coffee, or you're going to have ice cream, or you're going to have something that is different. It's light and it's a different flavor.
Shang Chi, it's a good point that you make, because Shang Chi is contained literally within this fictional, within behind the borders of Talut. So it is very much contained to this world. It's comforting.
And it's comforting because Endgame, the final set piece, it's
like the apocalypse.
There's what, millions of people fighting?
Yeah.
Who knows?
It looks like the apocalypse.
It's literally just every fighting able body in existence is on this one planet.
Except the Eternals.
Yeah, but they don't. They're not there. Come on. They don't meddle.
Big enough fight for them.
They don't meddle.
Wasn't a big enough fight for them. I don't know.
Yeah, Rob Stark's too busy not fulfilling his vows. Come on.
That's true. Wow.
He's yeah. Well, You know what else is brutal? Me watching the Red Wedding. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to just be like, hey, there's the bad guy, there's the good guy. Let's see him fight, as opposed to this, large scale battle that could rip the entire fabric of life as we know it apart. Now, Loki loved it very much, intergalactic, intertimeline, all that stuff. But they also did it really well, and they paced it well to where it's in bite-sized pieces. And, Marvel knows what they're doing. The final set piece was really well done. The characters are, I think, where they all kind of need to be at the end. I just have my most important question is, among the people that are still alive, who do you think has Captain Marvel's number?
Oh, to like actually contact her?
Yeah.
Well, so we're sure Fury's dead?
No.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought.
Yeah. I mean, obviously
So
Fury does, but does anybody else?
Fury.
Like, are we not saving our docs and like
Nobody did
multiple?
before.
I know. And that
Nobody did before, apparently, other than this fucking pager that she left. So
that had Nick Fury waited literally a millisecond longer
that he apparently had in his coat for
this
30
entire
years.
time.
But again,
Yeah.
we don't quarrel with these things.
So, is there anybody that has her number?
No,
Monica Rambeau probably does.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Who knows? And then the only other thing about the movie that I had was just that, and obviously this is going to concern you because it's a Star Wars comparison. But the stinger for the next Shang-Chi movie, not the stinger that I forget which one was the mid credits and post credits. Was Xiling the post credits?
It's the post credits. And the only reason I know this, so I'm traveling for work and I don't have a car.
Right.
So I called an Uber because the Ubers had been taking 20 minutes to arrive.
Oh no.
I called the Uber.
Oh no.
After the mid-credit scene, thinking it's been 20 goddamn minutes all weekend, all week.
Sure.
This fucker's like outside the
He's
scene.
there. He's just ready to go.
He's already there. And he's
no.
calling me
What?
after like a minute saying, hey, man, you need to show up or it's just going to charge you. So like, hurry up and get out of here. So I missed the second post credits, but I did watch it on a service that will not be named later.
Got it.
The sister scene was the second one.
Gotcha. So the post-credit scene, it was exactly like the Book of Boba Fett stinger that they decided to put at the end of Mandalorian season 2. Like the shot where she's sitting down and then it pans out. Very cool. And the tone of it and like even the cinematography of it was basically the exact same. So, you impersonate great shit. And then when it's in-house, even better.
It's almost like it's the same company.
It's almost like it's the same company. So, Tim, who's your MVP? Who's your Brandy the Dog MVP of this movie?
The only thing that I want to say about Wong, my guy.
Yeah.
The last time we saw him, he was in a trailer ruining Spider-Man 3.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
So it's nice to have him back and remember that we love this character.
He's everywhere, isn't he?
He's everywhere. That's just to bring in really briefly that I hate the Spider-Man 3 trailer with all of my heart and soul and being. Wong
Again,
treasure.
we're gonna keep
the last time that we saw.
We're gonna keep fucking talking about it. It sucks. I hate it. I hate that we're doing this now.
I hate everything about it.
Like, just stop. It hurts me. If someone needs an overly descriptive Spider-Man trailer to go see the movie, I want to meet this person. They're either going to go see Spider-Man or not.
Well, also Disney knows this because Disney didn't do an origin story for Spider-Man because they know
They don't
they've already
need to.
fucking done it. You don't
don't
need to.
There's
So why the fuck
ju-
are we doing trailers with
just
ruining
in
every
you and
single
I's
thing about it?
just in you and I's damn lifetimes. This is already the third fucking iteration of it. We don't need another one.
So what the fuck? I'm
At
sorry,
one point, pre-MCU, it was already the most successful movie ever, or
Yeah.
best opening weekend ever. Excuse me.
It was only second to Titanic before Avatar came out. It was like the second highest grossing movie ever.
So frustrating.
So I'm at Shang-Chi. I purposely was able to avoid those trailers because as wild.
I don't watch trailers anymore for movies that
No,
I
I know.
already know I'm gonna watch.
They've done a bad job.
They've just done a terrible job. If it's a Chris Nolan movie, I know I can watch the trailer because I'm probably gonna be more confused after the trailer than I was before it. But
Like this Sopranos movie that's coming out, there was a trailer released recently. I'm like, I'm out. I'm not watching the trailer.
No, unless
Like,
I know for
right
certain.
after Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
This is right after Spider-Man 3 trailer. I'm like, fuck that.
Unless I know that they're not going to just ruin the effing movie. No, I'm out. Unless it's a Spielberg movie, unless it's a Nolan movie, unless it's a Scorsese movie, etc. down the line of great directors. Unless it's one of those people, no, I'm out.
Yeah, and even the Eternals now is being ruined if you saw the trailer before Shang-Chi. But anyways. The MVP of the movie, this one's pretty tough. Because
It is.
I kind of want to give it to Katie because I feel like she came the farthest.
Okay.
Feels like Shang-Chi just kind of realized his potential, whereas Katie sort of had this journey along.
Right.
The best fighter in the entire movie is Shang-Chi's sister.
Oh, without a doubt.
I'm blanking on her name right now.
I think it's Xi Jing.
Okay.
Again, I very, 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 very wholeheartedly apologize if I did not pronounce that correctly.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now. I don't see it, the exact name right now, but
yeah.
And I apologize. I have to refer to her as a male
Yeah, here, go and I'll get it.
So she to me is the MVP of this movie because of the post-credits scene. Looks like she takes over shit. She became a great fighter without formal training through literally watching other people, which is objectively impressive. So if it's not Shang-Chi, which is the easiest thing to say because it's an origin story, and if I'm trying to be out of the box, it is his sister, who I'm hoping we have a name for.
Xiling, I believe.
Xiling. Okay.
It's Xialing.
Okay. Xiling.
Xiling, I believe, is the correct pronunciation. So mine's pretty easy based on what I said earlier. Whatever that Austrian dude's name is, for me, he was the MVP. I need the Substack. I need everything from whatever he's doing. I need all the info because I'll have what he's having. Who do you want to be?
I mean, so his dad lived 2,000 years and was just fucking shit up the entire time.
You want to live 2,000 years? You want to live 2,000 years?
And being the most powerful person just in every war you've ever fought, that's pretty badass. Like if I could have his life, I don't know what Shang-Chi's life's going to be. I know what his dad's is going to be. His dad seemed to have a pretty good go of it.
So you're saying you'd be Hitler?
No, he's not Hitler. He doesn't take over anything.
Oh, hold on. Okay, so if Hitler actually got the 1,000-year Reich, Hitler? That's what you're saying?
Not everything's Hitler. Okay.
Mussolini?
Tony. That's the thing. He doesn't get enough credit for being a fucking nut job.
Oh,
he just wasn't as effective.
Okay, wow. Okay, I thought we were about to go off the rails there. Got it.
No.
Cool.
Mussolini, he just was nowhere near as quote unquote effective as Hitler. That's why you guys kind of remember it as a nut job.
Sure. Effective might not be the right word, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. So
so again, a perfectly benign question. Who would you want to be?
It's got to be Shang-Chi, but that's so lame. to do
It is.
in an origin story
But
movie.
see that, but that's who you are. Because mine is actually pretty creative. I want to be Ronnie Chang. Do you know who Ronnie Chang is? Oh, okay. He's a correspondent on The Daily Show. Very funny. He's the guy who they first meet when they're going up in the elevator to Fight Club.
Got it.
So he's kind of like the usher for.
So you want to be a valet, basically.
Absolutely. And it seems as though he's making a lot of money on these fights. So yeah, I just want to hang out there.
I don't remember him making money on these fights, was he?
I think so.
Oh, is he?
I think
Good for
so.
him. Good for
I
him.
think so. And if I'm him, then I'm actually funny, which then is great. So you know, that's an added bonus and wealthy. So two things that I am obviously not. So we did MVP, we did who you want to be. Limbo lesson.
Yeah. Okay.
Mine's easy. Do you need a second?
No.
Okay.
I'm pausing for dramatic effect.
For dramatic effect, yeah. Gotcha. I'm waiting with bated breath.
Marvel, please, for the love of Christ.
Hold on. Get to camera 3. There we go. There we go.
For the love of Christ. Stop doing the love story where they're best friends and they're clearly going to end up together.
But Tim, those are the best relationships, don't you know?
No, it's terrible. Don't do that. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of the viewer's time.
Ooh.
It's just a bad job by you. Here's the thing.
Ooh.
I am not this person. Males and females are friends all the time.
Sure.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
When they spend all of their time together such that they work at the same place intentionally and they go everywhere together,
sure,
they are not just fucking friends. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
It's just a bad job by Marvel. It's a bad job. I didn't buy it. Didn't like it.
So what are you saying?
My limbo lesson is do better love stories in Marvel.
Oh, okay. My limbo lesson is a complete shout out to whoever the hell
I teach. I don't learn lessons, Tony.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just real quick though, between you and I, who's the teacher? I don't believe it's you. Anyways, mine is very simple. Black people go to the movie theaters. Asian people go to the movie theaters. Hispanic people go to the movie theaters. We all go to the movie theaters. Especially if you make movies that are welcoming to everybody.
And by the way, those movies are not gonna make the white people feel weird about going to, like,
no, I was
I don't know
fine.
how to phrase that properly.
I was fine.
Worried about like ostracizing white people by not having white people.
We're fine.
It's like, you know what? Every movie for human history has centered around my experience. I'm good with going into a different world.
The original 6 fucking Avengers in the MCU were all white, and the 3 most powerful were white men. We are fine.
We're good. I've seen my story be played out on TV, in books, in film, like forever. We're good.
Okay. I'm okay. I'm
comfortable.
I'm still gonna go see these movies. You've spoken to me. You've screamed at me. You've turned in our esteemed guest Alex's father's words. You have shoved the garden hose down my throat and just ripped it on with content for me. It's good. Black people go to the movies. Asian people go to the movies. Hispanic people go to the movies. Non-white people go to the movies. So please keep giving us these stories because it's helpful to discourse that we're seeing other shit. It's good. And it's allowing other creators to come in. It's allowing more voices to be heard, especially when you have such a platform such as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You can use it.
$500 million.
just by sitting at your fucking house, watching it on your phone, watching on your computer, watching on your TV. That's what Black Widow was. That's what this movie's gonna. Well, this movie's in theaters, only in theaters, but you're gonna make money. You're just fine. Thor 2 made gobs of money. If Thor 2 can make gobs of money, you can make money doing anything because you're Marvel. So, in Kevin Feige's words, you can go ahead and be fucking experimental. Anyways, so yeah, that's my Limbo lesson. I don't think we have anything else other than the our favorite segment of the whole show. Do you have anything else?
Do I have anything else? No.
It was really. Did you like the movie?
Oh, yes. I did. I enjoyed it. It was honestly the movie that I felt like it was the first one that I felt like I needed to go back to the theater to see. When I went to see Black Widow in theaters, I had heard that it was going to be okay. And so my expectations were properly set.
Yeah.
This movie was like, oh, it's coming out. I need a Thursday release. And I went and saw it at 8:30 the day before I had work at 8 in the morning. Like it was that type of movie, and I haven't had that experience in actually years. Years now.
I think when we look back, this will be the movie, and when we look back, there will be some people that will say, "Oh, Black Widow is what opened the theaters back up." But the thing is that a lot of the revenue that Black Widow made, and we're going to learn more and more about it because of the lawsuit, was on Disney Plus.
Yes.
This movie was not on Disney Plus. It was only in theaters, and it's breaking records. This is the movie that, quote unquote, opened the theaters back up. And I'm hoping
everybody at work asked me about it.
Yeah.
Because people at work were like, they were going to go see it the weekend. And when they heard I had seen it already, they're like, oh my God, tell me what you, not like details, just was it good? Basically, like I haven't had a movie like that in my life in years.
Yeah.
Where people.
Hopefully we're back. Hopefully people can get vaccinated. Hopefully we're back. Hopefully we can beat this thing.
I pray to God. Our only saving grace with that, Tony, is that companies are starting to mandate it.
Yep.
And that will be the thing that pushes it over the edge.
Yeah.
But
hopefully we can rely on the market to help us, which that always works out for us. Yeah, and Tim is making a gesture on the video that would not show that he is very confident in the market's ability to help us. The invisible hand of the market is always just a middle finger to the normal people. So, yeah, I loved the movie. I thought it was great.
I did too. I don't know if I loved it. I really, really, really liked it, though.
I loved it not only just because the movie was well done, but because I hadn't sat in a movie theater seat in a long time where I wasn't scared, where I didn't feel stupid for being there.
100%.
Had a beer, was enjoyable. Had a nice dinner before that. It was a very enjoyable night. Nate, it was fun. We'll have you on to talk about a movie soon. Without further ado, for the Ted Cruz Award for the person that you'd like to punch directly. And as we told Alex, it's a still target, and you get to punch him as hard as you can. One time. We're not massacring people like Dom Toretto with a wrench, but you get one clean shot. Who would it be?
Shang Chi for not becoming a pro athlete.
Wow.
For being that athletic, for being that strong, for being that well trained and coordinated, and for apparently not doing anything cool in high school.
I don't think he went to high school, did he?
No, he went to high school with Katie. Remember, he got bullied by the guy who called him Gangnam Style,
that's
and
right.
Then that's how they met. Yeah.
And then yeah.
He did nothing cool in high school, apparently, despite being all super coordinated and strong. But whatever.
And I mean, it appears very intelligent, just maybe not all that motivated at the time.
It's the millennials.
Yeah, we never saw him getting coffee, but he probably went and bought coffee every day.
He strikes me as a $6 coffee guy.
Yeah. Always has a new phone.
Mm,
and then just bitches about rent.
mm.
Though he is in San Francisco, so if he is bitching about the rent, that's understandable.
He's got a case.
And he is taking the bus. So I mean,
Yeah.
you know, he's at least doing the one thing. Oh, you own a car? Wow, Jesus.
Good for you.
Jesus, wow. That must be nice. Does it have AC? Oh, it does. Oh shit. Mine is pretty simple for me. It really is. It's Shang Chi's dad. And I would like to have the rings when I do it. Because that would just be poetic, right? That would just be poetic. And it would be fucking awesome for me because I get to use the rings. Dude, okay. Have I ever lost a wife? No. Well, kind of in the manner of speaking, but not in the way that, you know.
Well, she didn't die.
Yeah, she didn't die. And I didn't actually get married. But that's not the point.
Not the point. Obviously.
Not the point at all. I've obviously never had to deal with the loss of a wife or a spouse or anything like that. Tim, if you get ran over by a car, maybe I'll kind of get a snippet of
an
it.
Opportunity to tell jokes.
You know what? That's a good point. That's a good point because then I could say that you literally got thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
But you know that's just the tip of the iceberg, guys. But yeah, I mean, he just. I obviously don't. I don't know how to walk in his shoes, but I mean, come on, man. You're hearing voices. We already talked about it. You're hearing voices, and you think that's that it's actually your wife when you saw her. I mean, you saw her dead. You got to get over it. Like 2,000 years, and you can't get over this shit. Come on.
We've seen this play out, though. We've seen this play out in football, specifically with Jerry Jones surrounds himself by people who can't tell him, "Hey, you're fucking nuts."
This guy is absolutely the type of person that puts yes men around him.
There's nobody around him that can be like,
great point by you.
Hey, man, you're probably not hearing your wife right now.
That's a great
probably
point.
not.
And
probably something else going on.
And he was probably being told that for hundreds of years. And so then when Shang Chi comes in, he's like, "That's not mom." He's like, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong. Everybody else is telling me it is.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good point. So then, would you rather punch Ted Cruz or them in the face?
Ted Cruz every time.
Yeah.
All day, every single day.
Ted Cruz, because, you know, if there could be a way where I could punch him and he wouldn't be able to talk ever again, that'd just be great. There's a chance. Am I saying that I'm, you know, some boxing master? No, I'm not. But, you know, squirrel gets a nut.
Train for it.
I'd train for it. And,
I'd
you
take
know,
some lessons.
And I'm, you know, I'm bigger than him pretty substantially. So, you know,
yeah.
And I wouldn't ever want to hear him do the just every single time I hear him try to do the whole Spanish thing, it's just so it sounds like nails on a chalkboard because you know he's just doing it just to be a fucking
every time he speaks.
Yeah, it's just so not.
By the
it's
way,
so not what I want.
People who meet him have that same reaction.
Yeah. So, you know, turns out Harvard law doesn't take into account how much of a piece of shit you are. Anyways. Yeah, Shang-Chi was a great movie. Can't wait to see what him and Katie are up to in the MCU and the movies to come. Tim, what movie are we doing next?
So I'm glad you asked him. Because there's a couple movies that we've been quote unquote saving.
Well, hold on a second. So do you want me to list the movie? Because you can either pick from the pool that we've already promised the listeners, or you can go outside of it. That's basically what we've been doing the whole time. It's more of a feel thing. When we say it, we either get inspired or we don't. So right now we've got Christopher Robin, Shithouse, Almost Famous, I think that's it for right now for promised movies. Are you going to take one of those, or are you going to pick from the pool?
We're gonna do Shithouse.
We're going to do Shithouse.
We're finally gonna do it.
We're going to do Shithouse.
We're gonna sit
Okay,
down and we're gonna do it.
I'm excited. I think it's time. It's the right time because we just did one of the highest. We did a huge ass budget Marvel movie. Now
One
let's
for
do
them, one for us.
Now let's do a student film that, by the way, is a very heartfelt, very cool, very
Go fucking watch it.
very small movie. It's on Hulu.
No, you gotta like rent it on Apple TV or whatever you got.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, here,
It's not on any of the services.
give the sell for it. I'm gonna see if it's on any of the services right now.
This movie was supposed to air at Sundance. Sundance was scheduled to happen the day after COVID basically fucked us all.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
The movie went on to win every single minor film festival award, basically.
Yeah.
And those were all remote by that time.
Right.
So this movie won every single award. It would have done very, very well overall if there had been a normal movie schedule, but it did not because of COVID. So it definitely got lost.
Right.
It was created by a student who literally filmed this shit in his spare time at college.
Cooper Rafe.
Cooper Rafe. The movie, a lot of people are comparing his work to some of the greatest directors of all time in this movie. It's not only incredibly well done, there's something about it that's like, what I'm worried about is that I don't know that his next film can be as good because this one felt like so personal.
Yeah.
That's why it rung so true.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, first of all. Like objectively, it's very funny, like beginning to end. But second of all, it's sort of got that Good Will Hunting side to it where it's like, okay, this was just incredibly well done, made me think.
It's new. It's a new story. So you're going to be happy to hear that it is blown up on the streaming services since you and I watched it. So get out your pen, get out your paper as though it's 2000. I don't know why I said that. Get out your phone, open up the Notes app. It's on Hulu. It's on Showtime. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on Sling TV, and it's on Fubo TV.
Nice. Good for that movie.
It's on all of them. Box office, even though I don't even think it had a box office release. So the budget was $15,000.
Most of the people were working for free.
It made money. Guess how much money it made, Tim?
18,000.
Well, okay, you're looking at the damn.
Yeah.
Wow, that was fun.
That was fun. That was a good time.
Wow, you really beat that into the ground. Great job. Great guess, Tim. That was fun. So yeah, it made money. 97% of Rotten Tomatoes. It's going to be awesome. And in fact, I've gone the entire episode without saying this. It's an incredible movie. Watch it. Yeah. You got anything else for us, Tim?
Don't do drugs, kids.
Or if you do, just make sure you do them supervised. Anyways, thanks guys for listening. You can find us on all the platforms, all that good stuff at tfelix3412 or TikTok at a 1 at the end. For me, with Tim, it's at LeDuc32. My Twitch, as I said earlier, it's live. We've been going on it for a while. I might even do a little bit of Madden tonight. We'll see. I got the new one. I've got Stockholm syndrome. I really do. It's Tony the Meat Shield, because that's what I am. I'm terrible at video games. Whenever I'm running around in Warzone, that's what I am. I'm a meat shield.
Horrendous.
I just eat bullets. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. Ted Cruz, please, if you want to come on, then I'll get to tell you from Zoom window to Zoom window. Go fuck yourself. Elvis Monroe, please play us out.
One day, someday, fiction girl. She's my one day, someday. She's my one day, someday. Gotta have her, gonna call her baby. One day, someday. one day, someday fiction girl. She's my one day, someday